I insist we hear his evidence in its entirety.
No, he speaks too well. As he opens his mouth, he's got you. Women are like rabbits. You catch them by the ears. Now, come on, back. Go. You wait until you're called.
What are you doing?
Dreaming pipe dreams. The smoke rises up to the ceiling in there. If only you can read it, you can tell your fortune.
Well?
The future seems turbulent, monsieur.
Well, there's a draft in the room.
Oh, really? Well,
you never get bored, do you, Sconerell?
how could I? The life we lead.
What about when you're alone?
I sleep.
Sleep, yes. Have you ever wondered where we go when we sleep? I mean, when we come back, our eyes are all bloodshot, our hair's all over the place. We're tireder than we were before. I mean, what have we been up to? I don't know which is worse, sleeping or waking. Sleeping because I don't know who I am, or waking because I do. Be endlessly meeting oneself, and knowing better than anyone one's desires, one's limitations. But still to be endlessly wondering who one is, to be stuck with this intimate stranger. Do you not sometimes wonder who you are, Scott?
Who I am? Don't be silly, monsieur. I have no problem with that one.
Well, then I'm all ears.
Well, I'm me, and that's fine. When I examine myself, I've every cause to be content. Which is to say that nature has, on occasion, come up with more delicate features, more elegant frames, but it's given me a face that inspires confidence, and a body that inspires affection. As for intelligence, I know enough to be a valet, but not enough to bemoan the condition. I'm a complete stranger to none of the mysteries of the human condition. Yet I lose no sleep by peering into the unknown and unknowable, as you do. When my brain has been thoroughly exerted, I switch it off and rest, rather than exhaust it beyond repair by forcing it into further fruitless investigations, which is more likely to lead to permanent damage than lasting satisfaction.
In that case, I'm bewildered. Why have you allied yourself to such a master? For the greatest villain unhung, a madman, a ratio, a cur, a devil, a heaven.
Heaven sent me to teach you some common sense.
Heaven's done little else for me.
Be grateful. A complete and independent conscience on tap is very handy, particularly when it's not your own. Then you can shut it up with a smart kick in the pants, as indeed you do, and it works.
My conscience? Monsieur Sconerell, you seem quite thrilled with my evil deeds. Not only do you do nothing to obstruct them, you lap them up, you catalogue them all.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, come, your notebook. I've been told all about it. You give readings. And by advertising my exploits so exhaustively, you've done more for my reputation than I could ever do. I mean, you've served me better than I could have hoped, it's true.
Well, maybe I've misjudged myself. Perhaps I'm more full of hidden depths and contradictions.
You may not know yourself, but at least you like yourself, whoever you may be.
Well, who would be his own enemy? What would be the point?
There's no point at all. It's not something someone chooses.
That's still right, though. It's pleasant to be able to debate like this. One's a bit starved for intellectual stimulation in the kitchens and stables. But I must get back to my prognostication, sir. We're disturbing the vibrations.
What do you see, Sconerell?
Women. Many, many astonished women. And then I see you alone. And then me alone. Both alone together.
Your smoke's mistaken. Hasn't it heard that I'm to be married, to hang up my ravisher's disguise and retire?
It doesn't believe it.
Do you?
Oh, me, well.
Well?
Frightens me.
You don't want it.
It frightens me.
You think it's a trick?
That was my first reaction. But in your case, one's first reaction is never right. So I feel you will marry her.
You should be pleased.
I should.
Well?
Can't manage it. It's what I've always dreamed about, even predicted. Youth must have its fling, I'd say. Let him get it out of his system. He's just sowing his wild oats. He'll settle down. Other such hackneyed sentiments. But here you are, really marrying a girl, and I'm uneasy. Wondering if it's really her you're marrying.
Or who else?
Well, for the last few weeks, I've been wondering if you would end up marrying someone. I feel this sort of nuptial wind in my bones. So, chill, sir. Fine. But I don't think it's this girl you want to marry. You're just getting married, that's all.
You're going mad, Scotterell?
I don't think so. If I were, you wouldn't be taking me so seriously.
I have my reasons for marrying.
Oh, come off it, sir. We both know that for the last several months, Don Juan hasn't exactly been Don Juan.
That will do.
No. Don't hear me out. That's what I'm for. I'm the conscience that God forgot to give you. Look, for months now I haven't had a single name to write in my notebook.
No, so you admit you have one?
Now I do. Now that it's not being used. No new names. Virtue reigns, libertinage is dead, and Don Juan's asleep.
Well, you know about me and French women.
Never stopped you in the past. We've seen girls ugly or hairy or toothless, ghastly enough to cool the ardor of an 18-year-old, and yet nothing about them would stop you when there was mischief to be done.
Come on, Scotterell. Recently there's been... what about the Guerin? Madame Dumosley and Champetry and the chambermaid at the Fox.
Wrong. Ineligible. You told everyone you knew you'd had them, and yet nothing actually happened. I know. I'm a proper chronicler. I do my research. And you didn't go the whole hog with any of those ladies. Not because they put up a struggle. Oh, no. They were among your easier victims, but because you ran away at the last minute. Just ran away. There were complaints, honestly. Yeah, thought they were too ugly or smelly. Poor dears, the whole world's gone mad. So let me ask you your own favorite question. Why? Why run away? Why pretend it's business as usual? Why lie to me? Don Juan pretending to his valet. Well, now I have seen it all.
Shut up. Can't you hear someone's coming? Is it her? Did she get my note?
Yes. Here she comes. Your latest non-conquest.
Go. Quickly.
Don Juan.
Yes?
No, don't turn around. Stay where you are. I'm in my nightgown.
Doesn't bother me.
No, don't move. Stay there. Don't look. Not yet. I've got so pale. I've got so thin.
How long do I have to wait? Are you planning to get a tan or put on weight in the near future?
Don Juan,
Yes.
don't look, or you'll lose me. I am Eurydice. You've come to fetch me from the underworld. Now I am being reborn, coming up to the light. Let me get used to it. We're coming up to the surface.
Fine, let's be superficial. That'll make things easier. Can I turn around?
Please do. But if you do, I'll die. I'll die a second time. But this time for good and all, and we won't be able to love one another anymore.
So be it, but what's the good of loving back to back?
You're back. It's not so stiff as before. It's less confident. You've suffered too. Your back speaks volumes. Oh, I'm horrible.
If you were, you wouldn't say so. Let me see you. Nah, you're not horrible. No more so than before.
Thank you. Don Juan,
Yes.
is it really you?
Has your eyesight gone as well? Being in the underworld for so long's taken its toll. Yes, it's me. I still look like me, especially from the back.
But which you? The one who loved me or the one who left me?
Oh, God, they're the same, for God's sake. You women. Such arrogance. I mean, someone flatters you, says he loves you. Oh, he's telling the truth. He leaves you. Why stay when you're dead meat?
If he sets off again, off on his endless wandering, ricocheting from woman to woman, surely it's because he hasn't found what he was looking for. Because he doesn't know what he's looking for.
What could he be looking for that he could never find?
Don't be silly, why love, of course.
Yes, of course. God, that word, it had to come, huh? Says it all. Love. At 60, you say God, and at 20, you say love. And they're both said with the same bright eyes, the same faith, the same enthusiasm. There's a woman speaking.
And there's a man protesting too much. To admit to having a heart, a frustrated heart, a broken heart, oh, how shaming. Does the fact that you pee standing up make you immune to all feeling?
Is this a secondary symptom of your mysterious illness, talking like a demented schoolmarm?
What do you mean I'm not ill?
No, I was misinformed. I was told you were feverish in your death agony.
That's not illness, that's good sense. I had no reason to stay alive.
Well, then you should have embraced death with enthusiasm, not this half-hearted flirtation.
I haven't enough self-confidence to... Oh, Don Juan, you came. It really is you.
That's odd.
What?
Something almost virile in your eyes, like your brother.
Oh, Don Juan. The Duchess taught me what to say and do. I can't keep this up. Is it true that we're to be married?
You're right not to ask me to propose. I've done it so often. I've lied so often.
But this is a real proposal.
Real enough.
You'll never leave me.
I never will.
When you were away, I thought all kinds of things. You promised. You said, I'll come back. And at first I believed you. Then the doubts came. Then I thought I'd die. Then I thought I'd deceive you for revenge. Then the hope returned, which was worse than the pain. And I believed you all over again. Oh, I knew I was right. Oh, God, I knew you loved me.
Don't be stupid. I don't love you.
What?
Not the least. I'll marry you. That's quite enough.
You don't get
No.
married if you're not in love.
You do.
You don't.
No, me above all. Oh, but excuse me, I'd quite forgotten you're an expert on my personality. I mean, you certainly know more about it than I do myself, about what I do, about what's to happen to me. I mean, you've created. You're the author of my misfortune. So carry on. Believe anything if it cheers you up. Don Juan's in love. Fine, I'll try and believe it too. One has to have some faith in one's future wife, after all. You look pale.
You don't love me.
No, I do. Anything you say.
You'd marry me without loving me?
What's the difference, ultimately?
But if you don't love me, I'll refuse to marry you. There, then I will kill myself.
Stop, now you see? Now who's making a big silly fuss now? Now you listen to me, little girl. I'll tell you why you have to marry me. If you refuse, they'll put you on trial too. They will. They're unstoppable. I mean, mine's on at the moment, but it's a foregone conclusion. I'm guilty. And you know what they're going to sentence me to? To you. I'm lucky. It could have been a lot worse.
A trial, a sentence. What are you talking about? My God,
Your
what
godmother,
told me.
my love, is quite a considerable woman. And quite a blackmailer. It's you or the Bastille. Don't say she didn't tell. Really? So you thought? My poor little love. No, really, that's shocking.
But she said that you would agree unconditionally.
I called her bluff. I agreed at once.
But why? To gain time before escape?
Why care why? The outcome's the same. I'm marrying you. You can't alter facts.
Forget facts, feelings. Why? Oh, I've got it. Don Juan, I see your game. You had pretended to accept in order to appease those women, and now you're trying to seem appalling in my eyes to force me to refuse you. Brilliant! The marriage is called off. It's all my fault. Bravo! Aren't you satisfied? Why do you want to destroy me all over again? What are you looking for?
Why should you imagine I'm looking for anything? I don't look. I take. I pluck the apples from the bough and I crunch them with my teeth. And then when I'm hungry, I grab some more. I mean, that's hardly a quest, is it? That's hardly a search. merely appetite. My mouth wants to savor every kind of fruit, every kind of mouth. Fat ones, juicy ones, tender ones, hard ones, closed, open, the narrow mouth of the prude, the sunken lips of the sensualist, the astonished pout of the schoolgirl. I want them all. Men, my love, men envy me because I do what they wouldn't dare do. And women resent me because I give pleasure to all of them. All of them.
Nonsense. The men hate you because you steal their wives and their sisters. And the women hate you because you promise them the moon and then desert them. You're not a saint. You're not a hero. Don't flatter yourself. You're a crook. You're a petty thief of love.
Oh, now that is nonsense. I mean, you are all afraid of pleasure. And you're right to be. Only the strong know how to channel it. I mean, imagine if the edict went out to the whole world. Put down your pickaxes and your needles and thread. Our new currency is pleasure. Take some. Take lots here, now, without shame. I mean, what would happen? No one would be there to work, to sweat, to fight. It would just be idle men devoted entirely to pleasure. No children would be legitimate or illegitimate. It would just be a vast babble of brats with 36 mothers and 120 fathers. No more property or inheritance or blood privileges, because blood would be generally just spread about like sperm flowing everywhere. I mean, life would be one big happy bordello, with nothing but whores, no customers, no pimps. I mean, can you imagine the wonderful unholy mess? What would happen? To trade